Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Noelle, and here on this channel we talk all things books and bookish related. So if that's your jam, welcome into the fold. All right, so you read the thumbnail, you read the title. We are talking my December reads. We're gonna do a quick December recap. I want to say that I read, I think it's 12. I think it's 12 books that I read in December, but it wasn't like a crazy reading month because some of them were novellas and short stories. So it wasn't a heavy month as it typically is during the holidays, but it was a good time. Well, mostly a good time. All right, so we're just going to get into it. All right, first up, I read The Neighbor Favor by Christina Forrest. This book, it was exactly what I needed at that particular moment. Like, I was just coming out of Thanksgiving hosting duties. I needed something light, uncomplicated. It was already on my TBR shelf. Like, I just didn't have to think much about picking it up. It is a super cute little romance novel about Lily. Now, Lily is she has a editorial assistant job, I want to say. She kind of hates it, but she is looking to be a children's book editor. Like, that's her dream job, and that's what she wants to get into. But she likes fantasy, and she has a favorite fantasy book and a favorite fantasy author. And she regularly checks in to see like if he's created anything else. And so one day she finds a website with an email, and she shoots him off an email. And he actually responds back to her. So they like get into this whole little pen pal situation. I'm trying to make sure I don't tell anything that's not on the back of the book. But then I want to say it was like maybe a couple months into it, he ghosts her and was like, kind of like, this is just too much and I don't have time for this. And so she was a little ticked off, a little sad about it. And she was, kind of moved on with her life or whatever. She gets a new neighbor. And somehow I can't quite recall, or maybe it might even be telling too much. I don't know. But she ends up being friends with this neighbor, and they have like a really good rapport. They vibe. And so she's like, I'm having issues dating or whatever. She tries to get him to fix her up. Well, in the building of this friendship, he realizes that this is the same woman that he had been emailing with back and forth. So he uses a pen name. I don't know if I said that part, but he uses a pen name. So she never knew his real name. So, like, she had no idea who he was when she asked him to set her up on a date. And so they go through all of this. Like, she's vibing with him. She doesn't know why. He's vibing with her, but he kind of knows why. And it's just really super cute the way that it goes down. And he's like trying to set her up, but he wants her for himself. Like, y'all, listen. I think that this book just had a lot going for it. It's a book about bookish people, and we love that. The two main characters, they had great chemistry. Gotta love that. It was exactly what I needed to lighten my mood at the time. A lot of people I saw didn't love, like a lot of the reviews that I've seen, they didn't love that this book was in third person, but I didn't mind that at all. Like, I think it worked for the vibe of the story, and I was really much into it. But this one is your ideal, cute, fluffy romance read, and so I gave it 3.5 stars. Okay, next up, I could not wait any longer. I tried to put this off as long as I could because I felt like I was going to be sad that it was over after I finished, and that is Crooked Kingdom. I dove into this head first. Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, if you're not aware. If you watched my November recap, you know how much I loved Six of Crows, and this is the second book in that duology. And y'all, I'm so sad that this is over. I loved this series. This book is a continuation of the heist situation that goes down in book one. And as in the first book, like I just truly, truly love the duality of these characters. They all have you know, their traumas, but they're also trying to be good. I call them the good of the bad. In their criminal lives, like they're all just trying to be better people, and it's weird to say that, but that's how it feels. Like, and you're rooting for them to win at the bad so that they can win at the good. I know, it sounds insane, but it's true. Um, they are criminals with a conscience, if you will. Um, and in this book, like Kaz Brecker is still that dude, in case you're wondering. Um, and right now, just Lee Bardugo can do no wrong by me. I can't really tell you what this book is about because it's a spoiler for book one, but just know that the relationships from book one continue and they get even more complicated, more intense. It's just it's this project. It was just so well done. So in case you're wondering, I gave it 5 stars. I'm thinking about hopping into the Shadow of Bone. I think that's what it's called. Shadow and Bone trilogy by Lee Bardugo. Have you read it? If you've read it, comment below and let me know if I should get into that or if I should hop into something else, because like I'm really intrigued to see if it's the characters that I love so much, if it's also a combination of the characters and the writing or what, but I'm locked in. All right. So the next book that I read was All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby. S.A. Cosby. I love his writing style. Like it is so raw, so crisp, and straight to the point. Um, I feel like I'm immediately thrown into his settings for whatever reason. And I don't know how he does that, but that's how I feel when I read his stories. And this book is about, it starts out with a shooting, a school shooting. The shooting is by an adult, though, and the only person who's killed is a teacher in the school. And so they're trying to find out what's happening, what's going on. And post event, when the shooter comes out, he is also fatally shot by the police. So, Titus is the county's first Black sheriff. And of course, he's on scene and he is investigating this crime and trying to figure out like what's going on and what was the reason for this shooting. And while he's going down his rabbit hole, like he finds out like there's been some really crappy stuff that's been happening in Sharon County, which is where he is sheriff. And it's been going down for decades. And so the book is just all about him trying to investigate what's really going down. There's a lot of racial tensions that are going on in here. Like it's a thriller, but it's also kind of a mystery. I don't know how to categorize this, or I didn't even look it up, I don't think. But you know, you have a serial killer mixed in, the racial tension mixed in, secrets from the past mixed in, all that kind of good stuff. And it's a good time reading, even though it is a little dark, which is exactly the opposite of what I thought I needed, but it was a good time reading this book. I also just really like Titus as a character. I did this book as an immersion read and listen, and perfection. Like I just I fully recommend doing that. And he was just like such a G. I mean, such a G. I gave All the Sinners Bleed, and I keep looking at my Kindle because I was trying to pop it up on the screen, but I'll just post a picture up somewhere. But I gave All the Sinners Bleed 4.5 stars. Okay, next up, I listened to the audiobook of What I Ate in a Year by Sam Tucci. If you've been here before, you know that I love listening to memoirs. It feels like a conversation that I'm having with the author, like a little sit down and chat. Hey friends, really quick, editing Noel here. Hi. Um I somehow, some way deleted my clip of my review for Stanley Tucci. So I just wanted to pop in and actually give it to you. Um what I ate in a year was great. I did not like it as much as I liked taste though. What I ate in a year, it kind of felt more like a year's food diary, which is kind of what it was. And even though I love Stanley Tucci, like sometimes it got a little monotonous, if you will. However, that man can talk about food to the end of the day, and I just love his voice. And he's fun. He's fun. So I don't remember right now what I rated it, but it'll be in my Goodreads, and you can check that out. But like I said, didn't love it as much as I love Taste, but I thought it was. I mean, it was not a waste of time. Put it that way. And I got some good recipes, and he made me hungry, y'all. Like, oh, yeah. I want to say it was maybe 3.5 stars or something like that, but I'm not sure. Again, check my Goodreads. Alrighty, peace. Next up, I read A Novel Christmas by Charity Shanae. I believe that's how you say her name. This was such a cute holiday read. If you notice, like I'm just now getting to the holiday reads. I want to say this was maybe like the second week of December. And so, or maybe even the third week of December. I started late with holiday reads, y'all. But this is a cute holiday read. It's by a Black author and it's about a Black author named Syra. And Syra is working with a big publishing company that she really loves. And they have basically mandated her to write a holiday novel because her recent work has kind of fallen off. Of course, she doesn't want to do it. She has feelings about holiday novels. I don't know why, because we love a good holiday novel, but whatever. And so she goes, actually, I mean, they issued an ultimatum. They're like, write it or get dropped. So she's like, okay, I'm going to go do some research. I'm going to travel to this little holiday town. I am not going to say the name of the town because I don't think it's on here, but a little holiday town in Indiana to do her research. And, you know, you've seen the movie. You know how this goes. Um, I here's what I like about this book. We love a book about bookish stuff, and about authors. And I like the atmosphere of the book. Um, I can appreciate that it feels like a holiday movie special. Like as I'm reading this, I can picture the town. I can cast the characters of this. Like I just thought it was fun. It wasn't groundbreaking. Had a little bit of spice, but I ate it up. I don't know what to tell you. Like I enjoyed this novel. I gave it 3.5 stars because, like I said, it wasn't groundbreaking, but it was fun. All right, so then I decided to do a few holiday reads on audio because I had some stuff to do around the house, a little decluttering, decorating, all that good stuff. And so I was like, audio saves the day every time. So I listened to Not Another Christmas Rom-Com by AJ Pines. Spoiler alert, it was another Christmas rom-com. I mean, it's about a girl named Holly who is traveling for the holidays and she ends up getting moved into first class. Like she got a seat in first class. So she's drinking her first class drinks. And I think this was her first time there, if I remember right. She's drinking her first class drinks and she basically is running off at the mouth with her seatmate and they're chit chatting. She tells a lot about what's going on with her life. Her sister is getting married, and she basically dogs her sister's fiance's family to this dude, right? And then she passes out on the plane. Hilarious. Drool and everything, y'all. Okay, so then when she gets home, because that's what she was flying to, she's flying home for Christmas, she realizes that the seatmate is the brother of her sister's fiance. So, they have this little kind of secret thing going between the two of them because, she's basically just ragged on his whole family to him. And he knows that she's not a fan of his brother, particularly. And then they end up finding out some more stuff about each other because they're all staying in the same house. So it was okay. Just a bunch of stuff that I didn't care about really transpired in this book. And it started out so great. Like the whole plane thing, the premise, like it started out good, but it just slipped down this very steep, very slippery hill and crashed. I mean, like they went down at warp speed, I'm telling you. And so, I mean, I'm glad it was free because I did not love it. Uh, I listened to it and it kept me entertained while I was working, but I wouldn't recommend. I gave it 2 stars. Did I give it two? Yeah, I gave it 2 stars. Yeah. Next up, I listened to another freebie from Audible. It was called Book for the Holidays by Liz Maverick. Um, it was cute. We love books, books about bookish people, I mean. And this one, it served a purpose. It's about Abby, who is something like an editorial assistant or something of the sort. She goes to one of their clients' home for saying, hey, I have treats and all of that stuff. But what she's really there to do is check up on this author's deadline because it has come and gone. What ensues is she learns some information that floors her, basically. Then we get thrown into a close proximity situation because the weather's trash. You know how this goes. And then it turns into a cozy situation and a romantic situation. So, again, there's nothing groundbreaking here. We've heard the story before, we've seen the film before. But this one, I could also see it being a little kind of holiday film. I can see this posted up on Hallmark somewhere. But I gave it 3 stars, okay? But it could have been a little bit higher. But I deducted some points for plausibility because I really had to work hard to suspend my disbelief to follow the plot and the main plot and premise of this story. Like, come on. Like, out of the blue, this is just not happening. I don't want to tell you what it is, but I was able to do so for the sake of a holiday romance. There you have it. That's all I got. But yeah, I gave it 3 stars. It was fine. Next up, I went down a bit of a holiday novella rabbit hole. All right. Amazon, Kindle Unlimited, like they had this little series, I guess I'll call it, called Under the Mistletoe. Short novellas by relatively popular authors. And I didn't spend much time on them because they're super, super short, but I was annoyed with several of them. And I will give you some quick and abbreviated thoughts about them. I'll pop them up on the screen somewhere, probably here. But this will be kind of pretty fast, and you can decide next year if you want to go down this rabbit hole as well. Like these were really, really short. I feel like they may have taken me an hour max for each one, max. But anywho, okay, so Cruel Winter, and I'm kind of like looking at my notes. Cruel Winter with You by Ali Hazelwood. I will say this was the best of the bunch. I don't even remember what it was about, but I'll just say it was the best of the bunch. The most complete story of them all, if you will. Next up, we had Merry Ever After by Tessa Bailey. Okay, I'm gonna, it was so bad. It was so, so, so bad. When I tell you that Tessa Bailey is on my ish list, like at this point, her books, for me, at this point, her books have to be vetted by someone whose reviews I actually trust before I will go down another Tessa Bailey rabbit hole. That's how bad this was. And I read something else by her. I want to say it was another holiday book that was also equally as bad that I read by her last year. So she's just on my list, and I don't know if I can do her. Okay. Um, Next up is All by My Elf by Olivia Date. Um, I do not recommend. No. Nope. Nope. Wanted to skip through that one entirely. Um, the next one was Merriment and Mayhem by Alexandria Belfleur. That one was decent. I mean, it was okay. Um, then Only Santa's in the Building by Alexis Daria. And it was not a total waste of time. Like, it was fine. Um, I'm gonna say this. Like, I love a good holiday read, right? I love a good spicy holiday read even. But some of these I can do Hallmark stuff too. Like, don't get me wrong, I am across the board equal opportunity when it comes to my holiday reads. But some of these, they just didn't work for me. Like, it's a novella, right? So the spice just comes in hard and fast, and no pun intended there. But it just, there was no flow, there was no cohesiveness, there was no buildup. I mean, there's no time for buildup, but it read very differently than I wanted to feel. Let me just put it that way. And so many of them just felt incomplete. Like, when you read a novella, you should feel satisfied when you finish the story, right? Even if it's 75 pages, you should still feel, satiated. These did not give me that. I think One Cruel Winter with You was probably the only one that I walked away from and was like, okay, all right, Allie. But the rest, not so much. I don't even know that I can. I I don't want to I don't want to lump everything together, but I will say One Cruel Winter with You was worth the read. The last two, the two that I said were okay. I don't even remember the titles at this point. Two that I said were okay were like, if you have nothing else to do and if you can get them for free, they're fine. But the other two, skip them completely. Then I, somewhere in the mix of like all of these holiday reads, I feel like I'm on a downer in this video where I'm talking about all the books that I did not love. But this was another read, The Sable Cloak. The book club I'm a part of, we received this one as an ARC, and we read it as our book club pick for December. I wanted to love this book. It is about, it's set in Jim Crow era in St. Louis, and it is about Jordan Sable, who was an undertaker, who turned kind of local political boss, if you will. And it goes through the things that incurred in him and his wives' lives and how they handled those things. Y'all, I mean, they built a life, which was pretty cool to see build and happen the way that it did. Some tragic things occurred, but when I tell you the storyline for this book was insane to process, if there's a trope the author put it in this book. I I mean, all of it. All of it. Uh, I found myself not connecting with the characters, which is unusual for me because, I love historical fiction. Um, I didn't like anybody. I didn't hate anybody. I just did not care about them. And it was just hard for me to get into. Um, and then I went and read the reviews to see if anybody else had gotten this as an arc. And I'm like, did we read the same book? Because all of the reviews were stellar. Uh, I, I, the premise was good, but the follow through did not do the premise justice. And I just I wanted to, but I didn't. And I gave this one 2 stars. All right. I wrapped up the year with a book, holiday read by a Black author. This is The Most Wonderful Time of the Year by Jane Allen. And this book was cute. It has a Chicago tie, which, I love reading books about my city. And this book is about a house swap, essentially, a holiday house swap. One character, I can't remember her name at the time, Chelsea. So Chelsea, Chelsea lives in Malibu, and the other girl, Ramona, is in Chicago. And they are both running from life things. Chelsea needs money and Ramona needs a peace of mind. And so they kind of do a holiday swap situation, and each of them kind of incurs some romantic vibes from individuals in their opposite locales. But Ramona, so Chelsea is white, Ramona is black. And so when Ramona gets to the house in Malibu, some stuff goes down with the local, I won't call them the police, but the local security in that area. And so, like, part of the book is trying to figure out who called security on her. And then the other part is like her just really trying to get a peace of mind and sense of self. And then Chelsea, on the other hand, is in Chicago trying to reignite her creative juices and her creative inner flame. And so what you get is a lot of back and forth. It's complex, but it's also a little heartwarming ish. I love the highlight of how Black families operate, especially during the holidays. Well, not all Black families, but Black family in this book, traditional Black family, operates. And so I thought it was a good way to wrap up the year. And I gave this one 3.5 stars. All right, good people. I feel like I was kind of rambling in this video. I am going to try to make it work with editing, and I hope it works out. But if I'm rambling, just please forgive me and tune in for the next one and hope that it gets better. I thank you for being here. I thank you for watching. And if you have any thoughts on whether I should read the Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo, leave comments down below. And then also let me know if you had any holiday reads that you absolutely loved for this holiday season that I should add to my next holiday season TBR. I'd love to hear from you. This has been great. I hope that you will like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss a thing. And I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye. Did I really just do a pageant wave?